for the perfect 2-day escape in Sicily? Trapani has it all. Historic streets, castles with sweeping sea views, one of the island's best preserved temples, and golden salt marshes at sunset. This itinerary covers the must-see sights and the tastiest Sicilian food with insider tips included to help you experience more in less time. Best time to visit. The best months to experience Trapani are April to June and September to October. Spring days reach about 70 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit, 21 to 27 degrees Celsius, making it comfortable to explore the old town or take coastal walks when the countryside is green and lively. In early autumn, temperatures stay around 72 to 78 degrees Fahrenheit, 22 to 25 degrees Celsius. The sea is still warm for swimming, and evenings are perfect for dining outdoors. These months give you the best mix of pleasant weather, lighter crowds, and long days to enjoy the city at an easy pace. Airport tips. Most visitors arrive through Trapani Birgi Airport, only 25 minutes from the city center. A taxi to the old town costs about $35, while the AST bus is the budget option at around $5 for a 40-minute ride. Car rentals are also available directly at the terminal, starting at about $40 per day, which can be convenient if you plan to explore beyond the city. You can also fly into Palermo Airport, which has more international connections and is about 90 minutes away. From there, Segesta buses run directly to Trapani for about $13, with several departures each day. If you'd rather travel comfortably without waiting, private transfers cost roughly $120 to $140 and will take you door to door. Trains are not a practical option here, so buses, taxis, or private cars are the main ways to reach Trapani. Insider tip. If you're landing late in the evening, check bus schedules in advance. After a certain hour, a taxi or private transfer may be your only option. Where to stay. For a classic stay close to Trapani's main sites, choose the Historic Center, where small hotels and B&Bs put you within walking distance of restaurants, the port, and the cathedral. Rooms here typically range from $90 to $150 per night, depending on the season. If you're after more space and sea views, the Lido San Giuliano area just north of town offers modern hotels and beach access, often priced between $120 and $200 per night. For a quieter base, look at countryside agriturismos within a 15-minute drive. These farm stays combine comfort with local food and are often around $100 to $140 per night. How to get around. Trapani itself is compact and most of the old town can be covered on foot. Taxis are available, but not always plentiful, so many visitors rely on walking to the center and renting a car for day trips. Car rentals start at about $40 per day and are the easiest way to reach places like Segesta, Mount Cofano, and the Salt Marshes. For short distances, local buses connect the city with nearby beaches and Erice, and tickets cost only a few dollars. The cable car to Erice is a highlight in itself, running frequently throughout the day for about $12 round trip. Day 1. Trapani's historic treasures and hilltop views in Erice. Morning. Breakfast at Pasticceria Il Dolce Angelo di Michel Minio. If you want to start the day like a local, this pastry shop in the old town is the spot. The trays are stacked with Sicilian classics, cannoli with sweet ricotta, crumbly pistachio cookies, and chocolate pastries that go perfectly with a quick espresso at the counter. You won't spend more than $5 to $7 for a pastry and coffee, and it sets you up nicely for a day of exploring. Insider tip. Don't leave without trying their pistachio cookies. They're the first to disappear every morning. San Lorenzo Cathedral. After breakfast, your walk through the old town begins at the Cathedral of San Lorenzo, Trapani's most important church. Originally built in the 1600s, it was later given a Baroque facelift, and today it stands as the centerpiece of the historic center. From the outside, the stone facade is elegant but simple, drawing you inside to discover more. Step through the doors and you'll see high arches, decorated chapels, and paintings that reflect centuries of devotion in this port city. It doesn't take long to visit, around 15 minutes is enough, but it's the perfect first stop to set the tone for the day. Entry is free, so there's no reason to miss it. Church of Purgatory. A few minutes further along is the Church of Purgatory, one of Trapani's most symbolic landmarks. This is where the famous Mysteri, 20 life-sized wooden statues, are kept all year. Every Easter, they're carried through the streets during a solemn Good Friday procession, one of the most moving traditions in Sicily. Even outside of Holy Week, stepping inside gives you a close look at these incredible works. Each statue is full of detail, carved to bring biblical scenes to life. For visitors, it's not just about seeing a church, but about understanding a tradition that defines Trapani's cultural identity. Entry is free, and a short visit here adds real depth to your walk through the city. Fountain of Saturn. Continue deeper into the historic center to find Piazza Saturno, home to one of Trapani's oldest monuments. The Fountain of Saturn was built in the 14th century and once served as a public water source for the community. While today it's just a small square with a medieval fountain, it stands as a daily reminder of the life in the city centuries ago. You won't need more than a few minutes here, but it's worth pausing to appreciate how such a modern piece of stone has survived so many eras. It also makes a natural stop on the way to the next landmark, giving you a layer of Trapani's history in a compact space. Torre dei Ligni. At the far western tip of Trapani, the streets lead directly to the sea and end at Torre dei Ligni. This coastal watchtower was built in the 17th century under Spanish rule when the city had to defend itself from pirate attacks and invasions from the sea. Its solid stone walls and isolated position on the water give it a commanding presence, and it remains one of Trapani's most recognizable landmarks. Even if you don't go inside, the setting alone makes it worth the walk, with the sea stretching out on both sides. Inside, the tower holds a small but interesting archaeological museum, exhibits including anchors, amphora, and weapons recovered from the seabed, along with prehistoric finds and remnants of ancient shipwrecks. The best part, though, is climbing to the top for the panoramic view. From here, you can see the Egadi Islands, the curve of Trapani's old town, and even the salt flats glimmering in the distance. Entry costs about $4 to $5, and a short 20 to 30-minute visit is enough to enjoy both the museum and the views. Insider tip. Visit late in the morning when the sun is behind you. It lights up the Egadi Islands and coastline beautifully for photos, and the sea around the tower looks its clearest. Late morning, Regional Museum of Agostino Pepoli. Heading back inland toward Villa Margherita, the Pepoli Museum offers a completely different side of Trapani's heritage. The building itself is a former convent, and inside you'll find a collection that spans everything from medieval sculptures to religious art. One of its specialties is coral jewelry, a craft that Trapani was once famous for, alongside decorative arts and paintings from local masters. The museum isn't overwhelming, which makes it easy to enjoy in about an hour before moving on. Tickets cost around $8, and it's a calm place to step inside and connect with the city's artistic side. Insider tip. Don't miss the coral jewelry section. Trapani's coral work was once prized all over Europe, and this is one of the few places where you can still see it up close. Cable car to Erice. From near Villa Margherita, it's time to change the scenery with a ride up to Erice. The cable car only takes 10 minutes, but the views are some of the best you'll get on this trip. As the cabins glide over olive groves and the rooftops of Trapani, the landscape opens up onto the sea and the Egadi Islands in the distance. The service runs regularly throughout the day, with round-trip tickets costing about $12. It's the quickest and most scenic way to reach the medieval village perched high above. On clear days, the ride itself feels like part of the sightseeing, so have your camera ready even before you arrive at the top. Insider tip. Aim for the late morning ride. The air is usually clearer, giving you the best visibility over the coastline before the afternoon haze sets in. Afternoon, Erice Castle. Once you step off the cable car, the main attraction of the village is Erice Castle, or Castillo di Venere. Perched dramatically on a cliff more than 2,000 feet above sea level, this fortress commands one of the most impressive viewpoints in western Sicily. From its walls, you can look straight down over Trapani, across the Egadi Islands, and on a clear day, as far as the shimmering salt pans across the coast. The castle itself dates back to Norman times and was built on the ruins of a temple dedicated to Venus, worshipped here since antiquity. Inside the grounds, you'll see fragments of medieval walls, staircases, and towers, while the surrounding cliffs and gardens frame the views perfectly. Most visitors spend at least a half hour here, but you could easily linger longer if you want to spend time for photos or to wander the Balio Gardens next door. Admission is about $5, making it one of the best value sites of the entire trip. Insider tip. The castle is often shrouded in mist in the morning, which can completely block the view. Plan your visit around midday or early afternoon when skies are usually clearest, and bring a light jacket even in the summer, as the altitude makes Erice noticeably cooler than Trapani below. Lunch at Pasticceria Maria Grammatico. A stroll from the castle brings you to the legendary pastry corner of Erice. Here, Maria Grammatico's almond-based sweets shine. Don't miss her comforting cannoli, rich chocolate pastries, or the region's famous Genovese cream-filled biscuits. Individually, pastries run about $2 to $3 each, so sampling 2 or 3 with a coffee keeps your lunch around $10, delicious and light. Insider tip. Ask for a small selection of their top picks. It's the easiest way to taste more than one specialty without going overboard. Erice streets and shops. After lunch, spend time wandering through Erice's cobbled streets. Away from the main square, the alleys are lined with small craft shops selling hand-painted ceramics, woven rugs, and local sweets. The slower pace here makes it easy to enjoy, with plenty of corners that feel untouched by time. Even if you're not shopping, the streets themselves are the attraction. The stone houses, quiet courtyards, and flower-filled balconies create a setting that feels like stepping back centuries. Allow about an hour to stroll, take photos, and perhaps pick up a handmade souvenir to remember the village by. Late afternoon, Villa Margherita Park or Lido San Giuliano Beach. Back in Trapani, you can slow the pace before dinner. If you prefer to stay in the center, Villa Margherita is the city's main public garden, filled with shady trees, fountains, and benches where locals gather in the late afternoon. It's a quiet spot to sit, rest your feet, and enjoy a pause in the day. If you'd rather swap greenery for the sea, head straight north to Lido San Giuliano. This sandy beach is just a short drive or taxi ride from the old town and offers umbrellas, loungers, and calm water for a quick swim. Entry is free if you want to stretch out on the sand, though renting a chair and umbrella costs about $15 to $18 for the afternoon. Evening, dinner at Il Grilli. End your first day with a meal at Il Grilli, a Trapani favorite for both locals and visitors. The focus here is on grilled meats. Think juicy steaks, mixed skewers, and lamb chops cooked to perfection. For seafood lovers, the stuffed calamari is a highlight, and the menu always features fresh seasonal sides. Pair your main course with one of their Sicilian reds, and you've got a classic dinner in the heart of the old town. A full dinner with wine usually comes to about $30 to $35 per person, which makes Il Grilli a reliable and well-priced choice for the quality. Insider tip. If you're visiting on a weekend, book ahead. The dining room fills quickly with locals who know this is one of the city's best spots for grilled specialties. Day 2. Coastal trails, ancient temples, and sunset over the salt marshes. Morning. Breakfast at Bar Pasticceria Todaro. Start your second day in Trapani with a quick stop at Bar Pasticceria Todaro, a pastry shop that locals have trusted for decades. The counters are stacked with croissants filled with pistachio cream, ricotta stuffed graffa, and other Sicilian classics, all paired with strong espresso. Expect to spend $5 to $7 for a pastry and coffee. Simple, tasty, and just the right fuel for the adventures ahead. Mount Cofano Nature Reserve. A 30-minute drive north brings you to Mount Cofano, a protected coastal reserve that's popular for easy hikes with plenty of sea views. The main loop around the reserve takes about 2 hours, following a flat track that makes it manageable even if you're not a seasoned hiker. If you're short on time, you can simply walk a section of the path to enjoy the scenery. Along the way, you'll find small coves where many visitors stop for a swim, especially in warmer months. There's usually a small entrance fee of about $2. The trail has very little shade, so carry water and sunscreen, and wear comfortable shoes for the rocky sections. This stop is a refreshing start to the day and offers a chance to enjoy Sicily's coastline at a slower pace. Insider tip. Parking near the reserve is limited in summer. Arriving before 10 a.m. makes it much easier to find a space close to the trailhead. Late morning, Segesta Temple and Theater. From the coast, it's about a 40-minute drive inland to reach the archaeological park of Segesta. The Doric temple, built in the 5th century BC, is one of the best preserved in Sicily, with 36 standing columns that give a powerful sense of scale. The temple was never completed, but its unfinished state only adds to its character. A short shuttle ride or a 20-minute uphill walk takes you to the ancient theater, built into the hillside with wide views of the surrounding countryside. Admission costs about $7, with an additional $2 if you take the shuttle. Plan for at least 90 minutes to 2 hours to see both sides comfortably. The area is open and exposed, so bring a hat or water if you're visiting around midday. Insider tip: wear sturdy shoes. The paths around the temple and theater are uneven, and the uphill section can feel steep in the heat. Afternoon. Lunch. Ristorante La Loconda di Nonna Ciccia. After exploring Segesta, head just a few minutes down the road to La Loconda di Nonna Ciccia, a rustic trattoria known for its generous portions and traditional Sicilian cooking. The menu changes with the season, but you'll usually find pasta dishes with local ingredients, grilled meats, and homemade desserts. It's a relaxed, family-run place where the focus is on hearty flavors rather than fine dining. A full meal with wine averages around $25 to $30 per person, making it a good value option close to the archaeological site. The welcoming atmosphere and big servings make it especially popular with visitors who want a real taste of Sicilian hospitality. Late afternoon, salt marshes of Trapani and Pacheco. On the way back toward Trapani, stop at the salt marshes for one of the most memorable views of western Sicily. This landscape of shallow pools, white salt piles, and restored windmills has been in use since ancient times, and it's still working today. The best time to visit is late in the day when the sun colors the water pink and orange and turns the windmills into silhouettes. Walking along the paths gives you a close look at how the salt is harvested, and small visitor centers explain the process. Entry to the reserve is free, though guided tours and museum stops may cost a few dollars. Plan at least an hour here if you want to walk, take photos, and enjoy the atmosphere. It's a peaceful and fitting way to close your time in the Trapani region. Insider tip: bring mosquito repellent if you visit in summer. The wetlands can attract plenty of insects around sunset. Evening. Dinner at Trattoria La Golosa. Back in Trapani, finish your trip with dinner at Trattoria La Golosa, one of the city's most highly praised restaurants. The menu focuses on traditional Sicilian dishes made with seasonal ingredients. Popular choices include the fresh pasta with pistachio pesto, couscous with fish broth, and slow-cooked meat dishes that showcase the region's rustic flavors. Pair your meal with a local wine or save room for a homemade dessert like cassata or cannoli. A full dinner here with drinks costs around $30 to $35 per person, excellent value for the quality and generous portions. La Golosa's welcoming service and focus on authentic recipes make it a perfect final dinner in Trapani. And that's our 2-day journey through Trapani. From historic streets and castles to temples, sunsets, and Sicilian food that makes this city unforgettable. If you enjoyed exploring with us, hit like, subscribe, and turn on the bell for more travel itineraries. And if Sicily is calling, our Palermo guide is waiting for you next.